ready for the next beer. And I think this is the one that oh no, wait. Maybe. I think maybe these do have, both of these have like a pretty cool history to them. So this one is the Big Bad Baptist Orange Stick Imperial Stout aged in whiskey barrels with orange peel, coffee, and cacao added. Epic Brewing. Cacao.
Breakfast chocolate coffee beer.
This is a 2022 rare release.
What did you rate the last beer on?
4.
And so this one was pretty interesting because I was like, the orange and coffee and like, dude, didn't we all do an orange? No, that was just Ariana. Was it Ariana that had the orange?
The chocolate
yeah,
orange.
Like that chocolate orange that we didn't like very well because it tasted like a cheap chocolate or something.
And so this, I think I bought this before you bought that, or maybe not. But me buying this, like I'm like, ooh, it's a 2022 rare release, and it looks like it's supposed to be really good. But then I'm just kind of like, it's either going to be really good or it's going to be bad.
Don't forget the porn shot.
Yes, most definitely.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Alrighty. Ooh, that smells very whiskey-ish. Ooh, it's got a nice darkness to it. Gonna pour that. When the head's dark, you know it's gonna be that good. I hope it's good. Come on, head. Come on, Ron's got the most
Give
head.
me some head.
There we go.
Don't forget to show off the label for the camera.
And
right.
looking for our new furniture and stuff like that, we're gonna get like flight glasses, like taster glasses or whatever. And in doing that, I was and I didn't get real too deep into it, but I was reading up on like different kinds of beer glasses and which beers they go with and why they're shaped the way they are.
Ariana's got much more than Ron does.
That's okay. But I'm thinking of getting us like glasses to go with each beer that we do.
Some like old school, like artsy kind of shit. Okay.
Smells.
I could smell, like you said, whiskey barrel. I could smell that a little bit.
And there was a whole point to my glasses story that I was just talking about, but I can't think of what it is now.
Well, I know you said you wanted to, like, basically you wanted to put research into what kind of glasses you drink with what kind of beers, and...
Yeah, there's like some that have like the bottom's really small, and then it goes up into like a bulbous cup, and that's like an IPA glass or whatever, and it's supposed to supposedly bring like the aromas of the beer to your nose, and you want to, like, certain cups will bring more aroma to your nose, so you don't want to use those for like stronger beers, I guess. And like the lighter beer, like sours and stuff have a specific cup and everything. Right. And I don't know, it was kind of interesting actually, like, but I didn't get deep enough into it or take notes or anything. So
I'm not really getting the orange out of it, but I'm definitely getting like the bourbony dark chocolatey kind of a thing. You're rolling around my tongue here.
Yeah, I don't get the orange.
I get like
maybe like orange peel. I could get some of the tartness of that, but not like actual orange.
I definitely get the bitter, like baking chocolate, but it's a good one. And then I get the coffee.
Yeah, I get a little bit of the orange on the roof of my mouth.
The coffee might be like old coffee, not quite stale, but old cold coffee maybe. It's good. I definitely enjoy it. What was the ABV
good.
on that?
Let's take a look.
That's pretty high.
It might be because it's a whiskey type. Fucking spilled it all over the place, apparently. 1 point. Our take on the classic holiday dessert. Big and bold flavors of chocolate and coffee balanced elegantly by zesty orange. A lovely finale to an amazing meal with friends and family. Brewed and bottled by Epic Brewing Company. Oh, it's 11.8%. There
Okay.
it is.
That's what I was thinking. So what do you know about Epic Brewing Company?
Ron was thinking 11.8%. That was his
No, I was
exact
thinking
guess.
above 10%.
I think we've done some by them before too.
Based off flavor, it had to have been higher than like a 10%, you know?
There's Missy.
So, that's great. So with Epic, this is, let's see. our saga. Back in 2009, Epic Brewing Company became Utah's first brewery since Prohibition to exclusively brew high alcohol content beer. Yeah, that was the interesting
2009?
thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, so it's in Utah.
Freaking Mormons must have been like, no.
Is exactly. So intimidating, right? Remember, we're in Utah and adhere to Utah's definition of high alcohol beer. Back in those days, which was 2009, the state considered any beer over a 4% ABV a high alcohol beer, aka high point beer or heavy beer, is still illegal for grocery stores and draft beer to be high alcohol. That is so lame.
Like,
I am
what's a
sorry
Budweiser,
for anybody who
what's
lives
a Budweiser
in,
and what's a Coors then?
I don't know what they have there. High alcohol beers must be purchased at state liquor stores, so they have it at the state liquor stores, and poured out of cans and bottles or purchased directly from the brewery. Oh,
So
my
you
God.
couldn't even get that shit on tap? Huh. Because I feel like Budweiser's got to be like a 4 or 5 or something.
I feel like a lot of them might be a 4.5. But we couldn't wait for Utah to catch up with the rest of the country, so we opened a tiny tasting room in our small brew house where we pour each and every one of our high point beers 2 ounces at a time. So that's what they have to do. We'd put them on draft if it was legal.
So Bud Light, for the record, is 4.2%.
Right. And
so
that's a Bud Light.
Would have been considered a
illegal
strong.
to be out of a...
Wow.
That's fucked up, man.
Wow. That is absolutely just nuts.
It is. Ever since we pushed the boundaries of craft beer industry... Ever since we've pushed the boundaries of the craft beer industry, well, go Epic. I'm proud of you guys. Starting with a handful of styles ranging from Pilsner to Imperial Stout, eventually spinning off into the world of barrel-aged Belgian ales, smoked porters, and more. We've never let Utah's laws confine us. Let's see.
The Utah police.
We handcrafted and carefully packaged our unique beers in cans and classic 22-ounce bottles. Let's see. Whether you're out for a long hike, breaking, bombers, celebrations, discover natural variations, smoky malt, hazy, piney IPAs, barrel-aged stouts. Here we go. Oh wow. They're passionate about creating high-quality, fresh, extremely flavorful beer in small quantities with unending varieties. Finest malts from the U.S., Europe, and intense hops and triple filtered water.
That's awesome.
So the Utah law that I never knew about reminded me of. I was watching this TikTok and people were complaining about a law being changed, and they're like, they're going to take away all of our rights. They're going to do this and they're going to do this. And it seemed like it wasn't really that big of a deal, like that particular law. Like the creator was saying like, oh, well, these people sound just like this. And then there was video footage of people from like back, it was like 70s, where people were sitting in their car with beer and they're like, man, we're going to not be able to drink and drive before long. They were like literally doing it. Like the guy was like, man, I work like 8, 9, 10, sometimes even 12 hours. It's ridiculous that I just can't like go to my car right after work and open up a couple beers and drink them on the way home. Like this was like actual shit that people were like so worried about. And like the one girl was like, yeah, we're not allowed drinking and driving. We're going to have, when they're starting to make us wear our seatbelts before long, we're not going to be able to do anything. And it was like, that was actually a thing. Like that there was just, like, I would never consider that being a major debate. Like, yes, we want to be able to drink and drive. Fuck this shit. No, you guys can't do that. We're going to create laws. No, you're taking away our rights.
So
like,
that topic of conversation I actually had with a dude at work today, because he just randomly started bitching about like Teslas and self-driving cars. And basically my thoughts were, at some point when that technology is perfected, the federal government, at some point for safety, when it is 100% proven tech, they will require all cars to have that shit. Probably like 20 years.
All cars to have what shit? Like
self-driving shit like Tesla.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say
point,
a blow thing before they could start.
No. At some point, they will all have that self-driving as a requirement. Like the generation where our kids are, where they're learning to drive still normally for the most part. they're going to be kind of the last ones to really learn to drive because it'll be, oh yeah, here's the basics of driving, cool. Okay, fuck you, your car can drive you anywhere anyway, we don't care.
Right. I was kind of wondering at what point are they just going to do away with driver's ed because of that? Like, and then what's going to be the age? Are you just going to be able to be 4 years old, and if your parents said it's okay to drive to the store and get a candy bar, or your parents going to be, or get in the car, is it okay to go? Probably not at 4, but I mean, are they going to lower that age to 13? Like,
Right.
Well, the biggest trick with all this is the biggest screwball problem once self-driving cars are perfected is when all cars are self-driving, and the thing that'll fuck it up then will be you, the jackass driver that wants to drive himself, because all the self-driving cars will probably communicate with each other in some way to go, oh, that car wants to go here, this one wants to go here. Let's make sure I'm half a second slower so I don't hit this car. And then you, the person that wants to take over and drive yourself, are going to fuck up all that system.
I feel they would take away steering wheels. It would just be the front of the passenger side. It would just like that.
Well, there are concept cars that are like that though.
Right.
They're supposed to be fully autonomous shit. And at some point, before they take away that steering wheel, probably 30 to 50 years would be my guess. I'll be long dead and not giving a fuck, or I'll be 90 and having my car drive me around like a dementia patient.
I think you'll be dead in 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you're gonna be dead?
Maybe. I'll be like 70. It's possible.
Oh yeah, it's possible. That seems pretty young though.
I'll be all curmudgeon-y with my cane. Get
Curmudgeon-y.
off my lawn, kids!
That's what I'm doing.
I like curmudgeon-y. That's a funny word.
That's a good word.
So, yeah, curmudgeon-y. But that was like an entire conversation I had with this dude at work, and he was just sitting there when I started saying them, like, forcing self-driving cars once they perfect it, because the guy was probably in his 60s already. He started getting this, like, scared-ass look like, what do you mean they're going to make everybody have them? I don't want that. And it's like, please, bitch, you'll be dead by the time that happens.
See, I feel like, all that sounds really fucking cool, but at the same time, it's like, what is that taking you to? Oh, we're just going to stop your car at any one time we fucking want to. We're going to do this to you guys. We're going to do that to you guys.
Oh, the cops will
we don't like that you're doing this, so we're just going to direct your car to drive straight here instead.
Like your license is suspended.
I feel like that's something they would get away with
you need a license by then, though.
Right.
That's something that would be gotten away with much quicker in, like, the EU or, like, China, Europe particular, because Europe is real hardcore, like, pushing the no internal combustion engine cars in a few years. France in particular is one that's like, no gas-powered cars by 2030. None on the road at all.
This is like one of those deals where you're going to have like the barcode on, like tattooed on you or whatever, and you're going to have to use that to
Nah, you got to worry about that. The facial recognition software will just be like, oh, look, it's Ariana. She's not allowed to drive. Fuck that bitch.
The social, what is it I've been hearing? The social credit score standard. That's basically, it's not like money driven. It's, oh, how good of a citizen are you? Oh, so you do this and you do this? Yeah, we're going to shut this off on you.
That was like a Black Mirror episode, wasn't it?
I don't know. I've never seen it. But that's like a thing that people are worried about. People talk about that. They're just like...
Something like that I could see happening in like a communist place. I hate to be like China, but that would probably happen sooner there than here because Americans... We're fucking dicks and psycho, and we wouldn't put up with that. Not for long.
I feel we wouldn't put up with it necessarily, but I think a lot of people are like...
We'd have to have like a 9/11 level event for everybody to go, okay, fine, but just for a little bit, and then they'd never really let it go.
A lot of people are still too apt to be afraid and like, oh, I have to do what I'm told to do. Like, people are breaking away from that. People are more inclined to rebel these days, but... It's like, I don't know. I think older generations, it's like, you'll do this. And they're just like, oh, okay, I'll do it. I don't want to get in trouble. Like, what are they going to do to you in most cases?
Arrest you. Take away your car, your credit card. I don't know. That's that dystopian future shit.
Right. Be like, fine, do that. I'll find a different way to fucking thrive. Fuck it. Fuck you guys.
So, like, that shit aside, you guys just pretty much chilled all weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was lazy. The boys had friends over, and it was a lot of fun because they were upstairs, but they were, like, really polite and cool, and it was fun. And it was, like, the one thing that I did do, I was like, I'm just going to go buy them some chips and a pizza from Walmart, from the deli, and I bought him some snacks, and I spent like $50 fucking. I was like, God damn. I was like, kids are expensive when they have friends. And it was like, that shit was gone by the end of the weekend.
Just going to the grocery store is expensive.
It is, but like I that was like a side trip. I then ended up spending $100 the next day for groceries for the week. And I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I did have one more thought that just rolled back into my head talking about kids and our monitoring and spying on everything. I installed my first spy cam this week.
Good times.
I decided I am tired of my daughter pulling shit. And I now have the proud owner of one Google Nest camera. Soon to be 3, maybe 4 more.
Jesus. 3 or 4 more? That's great.
Well, I'm going to definitely do one on the back door, bare minimum. But, like, she has been known to sneak out of her window on the side of the house. So there'll be a camera there. And then I figured since
Motion detector light with a camera on it?
Yes. And since I'm going full Monty on this shit, I should probably put something on my garage because I got my motorcycle in there.
I think it would be really great if you put some kind of alarm on her window so that way when she opens it, it will just go, wah, 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 like, and she doesn't know. The thing
that would be cool because those are like cheap as hell, and I could do that from the outside. Dude, that is a fucking hell of an idea.
And she wouldn't even know about it. Like, you wouldn't even have to tell her about it at
right.
first.
So then when she goes to do it, because do you have AC, like central air?
Yeah.
So then when you just have it like that, she has no real reason to open her window other than to air out her room. But the thing of it is, anytime that's for the first time she tries opening her window in the middle of the night, it'll be so fucking great.
Like back in the fall towards the start of the school year, there was this one boy that he snuck over at 6 a.m. or some horse shit, and like she snuck him out, snuck over in the middle of the night, and she snuck him out at like 6 a.m. right before I got up for work. I'm thinking something like that would definitely slow that shit down.
That would be really great, especially if she was like, she snuck the dude in the door and then tried to sneak him out the window. And then that way when the alarm was going off and you'd like jump out of bed and run into her room in your fucking tighty-whities, no shirt, and that boy would be so traumatized.
my
Sasquatch is chasing me.
my fat man belly going, what the fuck, you fucking piece of shit. No glasses, half blind, maybe a ball slipping out. I am painting a really pretty picture of myself right now. Looking like,
ball because it's just hair.
I was thinking looking like a not green version of fucking Shrek up in here.
That's great. That's really, really great.
So I really like this beer, but I don't think I can finish it because my stomach hurts.
Yeah, it blows.
It's really, really good.
It's a really strong beer at the 11.8%, which is really nice.
For me, I like I really like
cool
that
buzz.
Beer. The thing rolls around the tongue, gives it a nice little bit of a tang for flavor.
It rolls around the tongue.
Kind of like a woody tang to it.
A woody tang. I love it.
It's the oaky barrel. What was that one we had the other day? A barrel forward flavor.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like I might just put that in the fridge and drink it tomorrow.
Sweet. Saving beer. I like it.
I do that sometimes. If I fall asleep and I have like a can of like I open a beer and drink like a little bit of it, I'll put it in the fridge and drink it the next day.
Okay.
It's usually okay.
Any times I've ever really fallen asleep is like I would have like a bush or something like that at the house that, you know, when I drank more often. So it's kind of like, yeah, I would just dump it out.
Yeah, I would dump that out. But good beer, I don't do that.
Right. I feel that there was one beer that I dumped out. It was an IPA and it was just kind of like a meh, all right beer. But I typically would finish the beers. The only ones that I didn't finish were ones I just didn't like that well. And then I just fell asleep. And then they sat on the coffee table all night, so then I was like, yeah, fuck this shit.
So what would we... Oh, that's too fucking early. Never mind.
Whoa, that's too fucking early. You looked at the seconds? I did that earlier, too.
Yeah. So, like, since we're kind of slowing down a little bit, so since they chilled at the house and hung out with kids and were responsible adults, over the weekend, Miss Francis and myself... I did some looking, and Rheingeist Brewing down in Cincinnati was having a motorcycle show. Was it freaking Thomas off the 513 beer group was like, dude, you didn't know about that happening? I'm like, no, I like both motorcycles and beer. The fuck?
They go together hand in hand.
And I'm
except for like together.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen way too many people.
Don't drink and drive, like we already talked about.
Right,
Sincerely, I don't go on like charity rides anymore because I've seen too many people like fucking get wasted on those things.
So, quick thought on that. So the cars being all fully automatic, will the motorcycles be fully automatic too?
You know, that's always the question.
Self-driven, and I don't think that would. I mean, it might not take the fun out of it, but I feel like it would kind of take the fun out of it.
Well, like some of the manufacturers, like Honda and some of the Japanese ones, have invented like bikes that will keep themselves vertical on their own, just sitting there. They could just stand there, and they could be
I'm too lazy to put my feet down.
Self-riding or whatever bikes. They have like a gyroscopic thing inside that'll keep them balanced.
Oh, fun.
They also a lot of the new bikes have, along with ABS, traction control, which I still don't know how the fuck that works on two wheels, but whatever. And it just kind of, I think it just kind of controls the power that goes to the wheels when you rev it up. I don't know, but a self-driving bike would probably be one of those like, well, your car's self-driving. Now from Harley Davidson, get the self-driving electric glide. So you can really take those long trips and just totally relax, drift off to sleep, and the bike will do all the work for you. And it's like all the fun of riding a bike, but
without the fun.
But totally relaxing. And if you want to take over and be a badass, you can.
I feel like, I don't know. I think it would be fun to fall asleep and just be someplace else, like, and be in the trust of the vehicle. Like, you could totally recline. I would. I don't know. I like to be in control, but then there's like that fuck it moment where sometimes you just do fall asleep while somebody's driving down the road. And...
It's like those videos of the people that like fucked around with their Tesla and figured out that if you take like a 5-pound weight and put a rope on the steering wheel, you could sit and then a weight on the seat. The Tesla wouldn't know that you weren't there, and you could tell it to drive you wherever because there were people that got pulled over sitting in the back seat of them.
That's awesome.
Didn't know about that shit?
No.
They were like, well, my car's self-driving, so I'm just going to sit in the back and let it drive.
How would you pull over, though? Like, how, I mean...
You'd have to be like, get up front and hit the button to disengage the self-driving.
Right,
or
because
crawl over the seat.
I was going to say, like, yeah, you would have to crawl over the seat. Like, that would not be fun.
I didn't say, for me, that would be like some panic-inducing shit. Like, I've driven a few cars with, like, the really good lane maintainer where you can, like, basically take your hand off the steering wheel and let it for a sec or two and let it go, and it's cool, but it's like...
Mine does that.
It's like the most panic-inducing, anxiety-inducing shit on the planet.
Dude, I really hate standing up doing this. Like,
I thought it would be fun, and yeah, it's getting kind of like weird.
It's the standing in one place thing. That's why I keep kind of dancing here.
I know, same here. I'm like swaying around and stuff, but
I feel like Missy's kind of got herself propped up, leaning on the bar a little bit.
Well,
I've been
yeah.
on my feet all day today.
I'm not on my feet. Well, I didn't work today, so
I sure as shit ain't fat IT guy.
And I am on my feet a lot sometimes at work, but it's not like the worst. So it's just kind of like, oh, this is all right, but it's making me hot. I don't know if it's the beer, my hoodie, and it's fucking 60 degrees out, or if it's just the standing.
It's because we're standing, and normally when we're sitting here doing this, we're like relaxed,
right,
on our asses and all that sort of shit. But it's definitely some of the standing.
Definitely.
I hope we get our chairs before next week's podcast. We'll have to do one more episode.
We're going to be sitting down, and you'll be seeing us from eyes up. Be like, today on misBEERhavior.
You see the tops of our heads. So, what will we rate this one, guys?
You rate this one. I will do that. That sounds good.
I think 4.5.
I would go with a 4.5.
I like it more than that. I'm going solid 5.
I'll go in the middle because I was like debating on the solid 5, but I've had ones that are better. I like it because it's not super sweet, but it's got that bourbon barrel. It's been a while since we've had like super good bourbon barrels on a regular basis.
Like I said, I got that, like, it's got that, for me, what I want to call it, the roll it around the tongue, kind of a oaky, bourbony kind of a thing. That's what I really like in a good bourbon barrel,
It's really good. And you know what? I have yet to taste the slightest bit of orange in it at all.
It to me, it said zesty. It's got to be orange zest or just the orange peel in it to just add a slight hint of better to it.
I don't think it's...
I felt like I could taste it a little bit, like on the roof of my mouth.
But I like it. The Utah kids do good work.
Maybe it is a little bit on the roof of my mouth. And
now I'm going to go and I'm going to wash out my glass. Look at me going downstairs.
Sit down over here for a second.
Okay.
That's all right.
I know. You kind of look like you feel like you suck.
We still love you, though.
That's right. Poor Ariana, not feeling good. Trying to hold through with our misBEERhavior beer nights.
Okay.
Ding.
She elevated her down. So why it's just me on this episode? Hi guys, what's up? Do you like our new setup? Do you not like our setup? Let us know, please, because we are constantly trying to improve, and I feel like we've done a hell of a job. This lovely bar was provided by Ariana. She has made an excellent choice. Missy's down there trying not to spill her water. Missy's provided these lovely, lovely microphones, which we're able to sound so beautiful through. And our Ariana's going to take a nap over there, possibly.
Possibly.
This is like this is like before I got on the blood pressure meds and we were doing those butt plug episodes where I felt like I was going to fucking die.